operate on a very high frequency. You're moving so fast you appear to be still. But I'm going to tell you, nothing about you is still. It's moving at a very, very high speed.
And welcome to the 19th hole. I am your host, Eddie Wooders, and alongside me, Mike Dunn. Mike, how we doing tonight, brother?
Man, Eddie, I tell you what,
Woo!
Colorado is getting some gorgeous weather, and the disc golfers are taking advantage of it.
I'm jazzed, man. This show is going to be fantastic tonight. We have a lineup and announcements. This is one of our biggest shows. I'm glad you guys are joining us. Thank you for subscribing to the 19th Hole with Eddie and Mike on YouTube. That's our new channel. If you haven't hit that notification button, please do that.
Please.
I want to give a huge shout out to Alex V, our homeboy, Farm DJ. That's PHARM DJ. He's got a Spotify channel. Go check him out. He made us that song exclusively for the 19th Hole. It's called High Frequency.
Everybody's getting down to that song.
100%. Fat Trailers. Fat Trailers is hooking us up. The 19th hole is going to be at the fairgrounds at DDO, right next to the bonfire, hooked up with an awesome camper with Fat Trailers. If you guys don't have reservations or...
I think there's still some trailers left, but you better grab it fast.
Yeah,
because
and I mean,
those are gone quick.
Going real quick, man.
Yep,
But
don't
you
delay.
know what? If you got a hotel and you're on the fence, cancel that reservation, get that refund,
Way
grab
more
a Fat
fun
Trailer.
at the campground.
Get a hold of us at the 19th hole or Pete at fattrailers.com. Grab your trailer, all right? It's going to be amazing. Today's show
What are we going to talk about today, Eddie?
Aviary Fools was this past weekend down in Colorado Springs. It was a great tournament. I've heard so much about this event. The layout was extremely difficult, and we got some good finishes by some great players here in Colorado.
Yeah,
We're happy.
I heard there was nothing given away on that course.
There was not a gimme course, period, or a gimme hole. Not one hole on the entire layout was a gimme. So, and that's a direct quote. I'll tell you who later.
Are we going to talk about the Lone Star Classic at all?
We have to. Matty O made a great appearance there, and performance was top notch. So we're going to talk about that. And in-house tonight,
The
Petey,
one.
the only,
Pat
McMahon. That's right. Number 43287 is in the house tonight. We're going to talk with him. This episode is titled A Father's Journey Through Disc Golf, and we are extremely, extremely grateful that Pat McMahon is in house tonight. Let's just go right to it.
Let's jump right in. Let's get going.
Let's jump to On the Green, please. On the green. I said on the green. All right, Aviary Fools. The difficulty is what I will remember most. There wasn't a gimme hole on any single hole. Right?
Quote.
A gimme birdie. That's quoted by the winner of MPO, Mr. Jerome Knott. Congratulations, brother.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Nicely
Jerome right there.
done.
He shot really well. He won over $500 at this event. Really happy with his performance. You had Liam Scott coming in second. Stott. Sorry,
we were just
Stott.
corrected by our producer. Thank you so
Third
much.
place, Alexander Krause. Fourth place was Josiah Griffin. And fifth place was Santos Montoya. Congratulations
Nicely done,
to you guys.
Santos.
We got Nate Metzler and Matt Stutt. They tied for sixth
Hell
place.
yeah, what
there.
about the Pro Masters?
Pro Masters? I mean, Hank Kerwin,
Bam!
of course. Eric Betke and Tom C., my homeboy Tom Carrillo. Good job, third place. Sammy Joe, she was a tournament director. That's her right there. Huge shout out to her. She took first place in the Women's Open Division. Congratulations. Man, there was some great holes here. The island hole is what I heard a lot about. You know what I mean?
Everyone's talking about it.
You know, well, look, as a tournament director, when you go in and put in an island hole, you better be on top of your game. I know that for a fact.
Oh, man, because you can get shot down quick.
Look, at least they had a drop zone. That's all I'm going to say, right? No, it was a hard island hole. But I mean, it's a tournament, and when you're talking about playing these tournaments, and it's a course like any course. I'm not going to say a course like Aviary. Any course. If you're going to go in and play a tournament, you have to expect the tournament director to do something
unique,
different.
Something different.
You're not playing
creative.
tags. This isn't casual. This is a tournament. Whether it's a C tier, B tier, A tier, doesn't matter. expect changes. And I think that Jimmy Alexander and Sammy Joe, they did a great job on this entire event as far as the layout, raising the funds, accommodating the players. So it was a great tournament. Congratulations to you guys. I don't know, man. We got a lot of shout-outs we could give here to, Advance was Brian. They call him Herbie. He won first, and his friend, they call him Shanks. That's Kevin Shanks. They're best friends. This is their first event together. They both took first place. So I just wanted to give a quick shout-out to you guys. A lot of the Thorough Colorado team members made a showing there, so I just want to shout out to them. Of course, Jerome Knott, Courtney Mater took first place in her division. Sammy Joe, Matthias Wright, help me out in the back. Clint Rosen, and there's one more.
Anyway, let's just keep right on moving into the long drive.
It's the long drive. All right, guys. We all know what took place. The biggest event this weekend was, in my opinion, probably the Lone Star Classic.
It had to be.
Driven by Innova. What a finish. What a showing.
We're talking about 300-plus players at an event.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, this is starting to become more of a standard. When you used to get 100 players, Eddie, it was a big deal.
Well, I was stressing. But now if I don't get them, now I'm stressing, right?
I'm telling you.
Kenny Shepard and his wife, Wendy, they did a great job at this event. I haven't heard anything but great comments from this entire event.
I love the way this thing unfolded. I love the fact that one of our favorites took it home.
Who are you talking about? Come on now. Who is it?
Dave Fehlberg.
Dave Fehlberg did take down the Masters. There's a good story behind that. Dave Fehlberg came in. I talked to him on the phone today right before we got here, a couple hours before the show. Dave, thank you, bro, for taking the call and giving me a couple minutes to do some research. Dave hasn't thrown a disc in 6 months.
That's crazy.
Okay, he's got a new baby. Him and Cynthia are just enjoying the parent life, and obviously Dave's got the big national amateur event, the nationwide thing going on. We got so much to talk about with Dave, but I promise we have to keep most of it secret till next week. It's going to be amazing. Dave will be on the show. I can tell you that. But Dave wanted
Fehlberg's going to be on the show next week?
He didn't miss a putt.
I heard he didn't miss a putt, but I also heard he didn't have a putt outside of 22 feet.
That's right. He missed a couple putts. So the front nine of that event, he went 8 birdies and a double bogey. So he didn't have a par, right? But he had 8 birdies and a double bogey, right? And he just got this crazy wind lift, hit the upper band, and rolled back. Anyway, dude, he was on fire. He didn't have a putt the entire tournament outside of 22 feet. Now,
It's impressive.
That's pretty good.
That's Park City.
That's almost like professor status right there. You know what I mean? That guy's on fire right now. And he wasn't even planning on going there. He went there for some meetings with some certain people that we're going to get into next week.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah, this is huge. Obviously, I shared it with Mike, and trust me, this is newsworthy, and I'm really excited. We got the exclusive rights, I think, to pop that on the show. Isn't that right?
That's going to be awesome.
I don't know. Who would have thought?
You want to catch next week's episode. Make sure mark your calendars right now. 19th hole with Eddie and Mike, 7 o'clock next Monday. Do not miss it.
Kyle Motti and Dave Fehlberg.
Come on. Doesn't Kyle work for Dave?
This is so big.
This is going to be awesome.
But let's not overlook Matty-O. Matty-O had a great performance this weekend. He was solid on his drive, solid on the upshot, solid on his putts.
First place in the Open division.
Kept his mind together. So huge shout out to Matty Orem. That was an amazing showing, bro. I'm very proud of the way you played. I watched the entire thing. It was amazing, dude.
Kick-ass. Second place, Connor O'Reilly. Awesome work there.
Yeah.
Rounding out third place.
We got, what was that,
JT Hancock.
That's right. Mason Ford, that's Team Innova and Team Millennium. I got to give that shout out real quick.
You know that shout's coming.
Mason Ford's on Team I Fling Plastic. Did you know that?
Is that right?
That's right. Right.
And, big shout out to the Open Women's winner, Lisa Fucas. Incredible work again.
Yeah.
Lisa's on fire. Man, we'd sure love to get her in some fly green gear.
Sarah Holcomb coming in second. Stephanie Vincent. I mean, dude.
Keep moving. Masters 40 plus. Dave Feldberg.
Yeah.
The man.
Yeah.
Second place, Patrick Brown. And third place, Don Smith, tied with Shasta Chris.
Shasta, yeah. That's hand-eye.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man.
That is some good stuff.
You know what, man? That was a good showing there at
I think people had a great time. I heard nothing but great things about that tournament. So
it's time for one of my favorite segments, and I know he's got some product over here, but right now.
What? Hello.
What's new with Mike? What's new? What's new, Mike?
I want to know where that picture came from. I don't normally get that frustrated or upset, but anyway, you know what, Eddie? I couldn't be more excited. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and we finally got the Stay Dry Fly Green Performance shorts, and they are here, Eddie. We got these in 4 different colors. They come from size 28 up to size 44.
What is that I feel in there?
That's right, Eddie. We really wanted to do something unique for the disc golf industry and make these revolutionary. So we replaced the pockets with microfiber towel, Eddie.
That's a microfiber towel.
You got that right. So you'll be drying your hands off every time you put them in your pocket. We got the mini marker pocket on the side. These are made with a special blend of material, perfect to stay dry.
I heard you have a commercial for this show. Did you bring shorts and a commercial?
Well, I mean, you know what? With some of my good friends, some of my good disc golf buddies, they challenged me to make a commercial, and so I guess it's time to see it, Eddie.
All right, let's see.
We'll be back right after.
Okay, now, so what about the Thunder? Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. My mom's got level 6 security clearance.
All right, gentlemen, what do you got for my new TV commercial?
All right, Mike, we're thinking lasers, fog machines, race cars, hey, even maybe a Bengal tiger.
Wait, what kind of commercial are you guys trying to make?
Child stars, former or current. Something British? Topographical maps?
Wait. Guys, hold on a sec. These commercials are supposed to be about Fly Green and all the discs we keep in stock. With over 20,000 discs from over 20 manufacturers, we bring in discs from all over the world.
Dinosaurs, thunder, military-grade confetti?
We also need to mention over 500 bags that Fly Green keeps in stock. From Discraft, Innova, MVP, Latitude 64, Fly Green Performance, Dynamic Discs, Grip. And what about all the Zukas, Rovics, and Rover carts?
Fly Green Murder Ball? What about heavy machinery?
What about the Fly Green Performance brand? We got socks, hats, shirts, shorts, straps, gear. We got just about everything you could imagine. We're gonna talk about that. Don't forget about our baskets, guys. We got small baskets, medium baskets, large baskets, travel baskets, tournament baskets, practice baskets.
All right, so we're on the same page.
I think we're on to something here. Just make sure we don't forget to give everybody our address, phone number, website address, and they gotta know our hours.
So, no lumberjack competitions?
Let me tell you the budget we had for that commercial.
Oh,
whoa!
My goodness.
Anyway,
quick shout out real quick.
If you want to get in on these performance shorts, we were able to get a limited amount. We're going to have them for the DDO. So, but you better get down to Fly Green and get your pair quick. $39.99 out the door, and bam.
He's already one pair short in every color because, of course, gotta look Fly Green when I get to DDO. Quick shout out to Jake Palmer, Ben Fairley, and Joe Galkin for that commercial. Of course, Mike Dunn was in it too, but just wanted to give them guys a quick shout out.
Appreciate that.
Dude,
you know what time it is?
It's time for the community. Community.
Thanks, Eddie. We appreciate that.
In all seriousness, we got a couple things to talk about in community. I want to give a huge shout out. If you guys have been following us since the very start of the 19th hole with Eddie and Mike, you remember Brad Warren used to be with our crew early in the day. There's Brad right there. Brad's a local disc golfer down in Colorado Springs. He also has his own club called the Outlaw Disc Golf Club down in Colorado Springs. So this past weekend, Brad was at home with his son, and he heard a noise. He heard some screaming. He jumped into action. He went next door. His elderly neighbor actually was the victim of a home invasion.
That's crazy.
And one of our fellow disc golfers, he jumped right into action, subdued the home invader, held him down till the authorities got there, and this guy was arrested. So that's community. I just want to give a shout out. It's not just about picking up trash or volunteering. Like, this is volunteering. This is volunteering at its
You know what,
best
Eddie? That's
right
just
here. So,
another sign to show you the level of
yeah.
quality in a disc golfer.
Brad Warren,
These people are
from
some of
the
the
19th
best
hole,
people
brother.
in the business.
thank you so much for what
Yeah.
you did, man.
Thanks,
We
Brad.
love you. That's amazing. I can't wait to throw around with you, man. It's a great story, and it's a great story to lead up to this next one. In Indiana, over the weekend,
This is crazy.
there was a disc golf tournament in Indiana. It was an intermediate rec tournament. As the players were standing on their tees, waiting for that 2 minutes, that's not what they heard. They heard yelling, screaming, something frantic.
Crying.
So they kicked their instincts. Boom, overdrive. They ran up. They found there was a house on fire. These people were trapped upstairs in a house fire, and these disc golfers came to their aid.
Came to the rescue because
they-
that's what disc golfers do.
Yeah.
They got hearts the
I mean,
size
right there,
of
you got,
lions.
that's a great picture. I mean, you don't want to see it, but it's great to
I
see
heard
it.
they figured out a way to get a guy out of the window, get him to
including
safety.
a ladder and a board. I mean, it was MacGyver at their best. And
love it.
don't worry, nobody got penalized for being late. They actually postponed the tournament for 30 minutes. So these guys, if you guys find that link, and we're going to try to get it up. I want you guys to see this. But, man, huge kudos to these
Yeah,
guys.
unbelievable.
Don't know who you are, but
Unbelievable.
amazing. You guys should get first place trophies. And actually, if you're watching this show, if you somehow find this right now, I promise you I will get a hold of John Roundhouse and I will get you a medallion made, a medal that says first place hero. Done.
Ooh,
I will do that.
I like that.
All right, so we're on community, and this is the part of the show that I'm most excited about. We have to introduce Mr. Pat McMahon to the show right now. I can't even hold off anymore.
Let's just go ahead and do it. Pat, how are you?
Hey, how's it
Thanks so
going?
much.
All right, guys, this is Pat McMahon.
Hi guys.
Don't even act like you don't know who he is. This guy's, I don't know, you're kind of disc golf famous, right? A little bit.
Well, maybe.
As far as on the parental side of things, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So. I'm getting to be more known. The
All
more
right.
I'm out there, I'm getting my brief cameos on
What
live TV.
what's that PDJ number you got?
I think you said it 43287. Maybe it's 42387.
43287.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how busy he is. He doesn't know his PDJ
I don't
number.
have to know. I'd have to ask Eagle. He probably knows it better than I do. Because he would always sign me up for the tournaments.
And Pete, Eagle actually has a lower one than you, doesn't he? I
Yeah,
think he's
he got-
37817.
Yeah, we signed him up, and then I think I signed up maybe a year or so after that.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we got him going a little
Was he
quicker.
beating you at that point already?
No, it was just I was being cheap probably at that time, and I was like,
Saving your money.
it was a
for
good birthday. It was a good birthday present or something.
Well, no,
That's
no.
awesome.
Because I read that there's no birthday presents, there's no Father's Day presents. There's still something special, but there's no gifts. You guys don't do that.
Yeah, well, maybe at 9 we did.
In 09?
At 9 years old.
Oh,
we
at
still
9
did
years.
that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Until he got old enough to where he had to buy something for me.
That's
Then
when the
he
rules
understood
started.
he understood the concept of it. So then he was like, "That's a good idea." So we decided that we don't buy each other.
Well, now he can just give you like
That way.
3 Eagle MD3s or something, right? And that's a
Yeah.
good Father's Day gift.
Yeah,
I mean,
and,
a couple of Cloudbreaker 2s wouldn't stink.
No.
Hey, Eddie, we say we jump right into the skip shot.
You know what? The skip shot's something that our staff came up with here. Ben Fairley and Dwight Venatucci, they gave us this special segment. We're going to start calling this the skip shot. We're going to flash back to an old photo of Pat McMahon and have him explain it to us. All right. I mean, Pat, tell us which one are you right now? So
All right.
center is gray. Where are you at from
who's
the
the
gray?
best looking guy right there?
I mean, I'm looking and I'm not in the picture, so I
All
don't
my
know.
homeboys, if they watch this back there, they're gonna love that.
Well, I hope you shared this. 'cause
I'm
this-
the 3D guy there, who's kind of bulging out in the back.
All right, so
The
you're
top- on
so
the
to our
top.
viewers, you're gonna be about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yeah, next to Jim Keaty, who's the redhead, who's a famous activist for Nike. And,
All right.
So he right next to him, to I guess it's the right or their left. I don't know. It's going to be obvious.
Yeah.
Do
no-
you still stay in contact with some of these guys?
Well, I mean, if we look at this picture and the picture
Yes.
we're going to put up in a little bit, but we want to discuss this. But our producers know exactly which picture I'm talking about. We'll compare. You'll see exactly which one Pat is and which one.
That team right there went undefeated, soccer team, and soccer was not my favorite sport, but I was that big kid in the middle that would be the last, like one of the last guys, and I had Mike Williams behind me, who was like a wild, crazy man. So no one could get through me, and if they did, this
Right.
guy would just destroy him.
So you were like the enforcer in hockey.
Yeah,
right? Like-
and I never was very good at soccer. I don't think I could just kind of toe ball it or boot it. But
I love
that
that,
was
you
fun.
remember everybody's names, though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
fun.
all those guys were great.
That's awesome.
all
All
right.
right, well, we're going to do another one?
Yeah. Let's see that one picture I was talking about. You know. All right. Now, if you saw the other picture and you see this picture, that's not Pat. That is Eagle. Tell us where this course is, Pat.
Okay, this is on the Maui, the island of Maui.
Wow.
So Eagle, I think he's about 9 or 10 years old, and we went to Hawaii for
I didn't even
2
know
months.
I didn't know they had Crocs on Maui.
yeah. Well, Eagle bought them with him on. He used to hike around in those things. I don't even know if he had sneakers at that time, and he hiked so many miles in that. And
That's a Grateful Dead shirt.
yeah, and that was the only Grateful. I wanted to get him a Grateful Dead shirt, and that was the only one I could find.
I think it's a
and,
great shirt.
He looks kind of tired in that picture.
Probably drug him around the course a little
He
bit.
probably
didn't
foresaw this future that this was going to be shown many years later.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
got
Oh
a-
my goodness.
Oh,
Are
we
you
do a
sure
little
that's not Eagle?
comparison.
It's my twin
Little
brother.
father-son
right
comparison
Yes.
there.
That's
wow,
amazing.
those are pretty
Yeah.
good when you
Yeah.
go back
Something
and forth
in
like that.
in my family, the McMahon family. I think it was me, my sister, and Eagle. Me and my sister knew when we were younger. We both were chunky. Obviously, I was, and we were filled out. And then around 8th grade, high school, we just shot straight up and got lean. And the same thing happened. And Eagle actually started off as this very tiny, skinny little boy. Like if you see pictures of him when he's little, he's just. And then as he got a little older, he got a little chunky. Went after, probably was comfort eating through some tough times, and then came out of it a disc golfer and took care of himself and leaned out.
He's definitely not
Yeah.
too chunky anymore.
No.
All right. Well, let's just go back. Let's do a timeline. Speaking of tough times, without getting too intimate on things, let's talk about. We know that disc golf was started for you and Eagle as a kind of a coping mechanism, if you will, or kind of a bonding time through a difficult time, and that's when you lost your wife Stephanie, right?
Yeah.
And you guys started playing. You lost Stephanie to a tragic accident.
And that's my sister.
Oh, is it?
Right there.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's a picture of my sister, and
I see.
it's a
Eagle.
picture of Olivia Newton-John.
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah. It is.
Wait, let's go back to that.
picture's Olivia Newton-John right there.
Oh
Well,
wow.
we can come back to that, but I'll tell you a little
Okay.
bit about when we found disc golf. Eagles, about a week or two after we started playing, and I don't even think his mom even knew that we played disc golf. We tried it, and we didn't really talk about it because it was just some random thing that we did
Yeah.
with a friend. And she went on a trip and left and was traveling on the West Coast and was at a hot spring, and she had an accident where she was in a hot tub, and she passed out, and I think she fell into the hot tub, and they just a tragic story. And we got that phone call, and that was a tough time. And he was 9, and he spent a lot of time with his mom and his grandma, and definitely spent time with me. But after that happened, he kind of had to cling on to his dad and found disc golf, and it was just the perfect bonding thing for a father and son to do. And because we both loved it so much, there was just no question on what we were going to
And it
do.
was kind of a release for both of you, wasn't it? Not just for Eagle, but for you too, Pat.
Oh, for sure.
A chance to bond with your son, and to everybody that watches the show already loves disc golf, but it shows you how easy it is to fall in love with that sport. It has so many different fun levels, whether it's the competitiveness or the adventuresomeness, the athleticism. There's just so much
Everything,
that's
the
involved
distraction.
in it.
I mean, it was
You
a
got
distraction.
it.
That's the word I was
at the
looking for,
time.
distraction. Because what I was going to say, Pat, is that it's amazing that you could make that connection happen and get that love for disc golf, both for yourself and Eagle, for that healing. Because there's so many other avenues that it could have went, both negative, and positive. And so it's just important, and I'm glad that he found that. I mean, and he probably is too now. He's
Well,
the
I
highest
would
rated
say,
disc golfer,
I would
but
say, and I say it that it saved our lives.
it saved your life.
It saved my life, and it
absolutely.
saved his life, and I'll always be indebted to it and grateful for it, and especially now. I mean, it's just gone in such a direction that only people dream of.
Yeah, I mean,
Truly
and you
dream.
had a small inclination back in the day when you're like, okay, Eagle could go pro. You guys started playing the doubles and having coffee, and then he started beating Dad and out putting you, out driving you, and those last hole finishes just weren't helping you anymore because Eagle was beating you by 5 or 10 strokes, right? So,
Yeah, and
but it was a good outlet, and Grandma's been there the whole time.
yes, and
100%.
100% of the time. And shout out to Leela and Fernando and her uncle Michael. They live in town, and I definitely, publicly would love to thank them. And they know they've always been there for us. They still are. And I mean, I never could have done it being a single dad and running my own business and homeschooling Eagle at the same time, and just a retired grandfather. Could drop them off there. Knew he was safe. They're home a lot, so it was always a safe place. I knew where he was. I knew that they were taking care of him. They were feeding him. As you can see, they were feeding him very, very well.
Hey, well, why don't we just lead that right into talking about being vegetarians? What led you guys? Tell us when, where, how, thought process. Obviously, you look pretty damn good for being 50 years old, Pat. I know you got to give a little bit of credit.
No politics,
you put
no
into your
religion,
body.
no age dropping,
Hey,
Mike.
Pat and I
He's turning
realized
50.
tonight
He's
we're
turning
both
50 in
Look, we're
Yeah.
all
month.
gray up here. I
we're
just realized.
only
I
a
just
couple
looked at the
months
camera,
apart.
we're
We kind
all
of realized that tonight.
I got behind.
so.
I looked at the camera and said, "Oh my God!"
I know.
My
My
when we were
son,
playing in the beginning days, we didn't look like this.
my son said I had cotton balls on my chin.
It's all right. My old
Yeah.
girlfriend
Oh,
told me I
that
look
was-
like Santa Claus.
yeah, look at
Yeah,
that.
there
That
you
was
go.
the
Look at
begin-
that beard
that's
there.
where
It's a
it
lot darker.
It was starting. That was the beginning.
That's
That's
amazing.
all right. So where did it all start? What inspired you
vegetarian?
to become a vegan?
Well,
Give me the breakdown of what you
all right.
officially are.
Well, it all started when I was in community college, and I took a class on nutrition, and I think his name was Hal Middleberg, and he was just a real food, nutrition type guy, and he wanted to do a test in the beginning of the semester, if we could lose body fat, and he did a body fat in the beginning to end, and I went completely vegetarian. I mean, I changed my diet there, and I went from 16% body fat down to 4% body fat.
Wow.
And then the next semester, I was doing a speech class, and they said, well, I did a speech on vegetarianism. It was my final speech. But I told the teacher I'd go vegetarian the whole semester. So I did a whole semester vegetarian, did the speech, and then just started to adopt that lifestyle there. Moved out to Colorado, and everybody in Boulders was at that time alternative type lifestyles and stuff. And just liked eating healthy.
Yeah.
And then met his mom, and then she was into all different kind of weird diets and food, and then we decided that we wanted to cut out some dairy and stuff, and then before you know it, we were raw foodists and vegans and only eating raw organic food and not cooking anything. I think about 8 years without cooking anything, just eating fruits, vegetables,
Holy cow.
nuts, and seeds. And that was mostly Eagle's upbringing was witness to that.
And having eaten meat and fast food at some point in your life, did you? I mean, what's your level of energy at our age now, and where you feel
Again,
like
the
you
age.
excel? I still, I mean, just talking to you.
It's hard to
before
tell
the
because
show,
I'm so used to doing that, so I know where my energy's level at, and I don't really
Right. It's been
know
so
exactly
long
how
now.
everybody else feels.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm doing everything right, and I look at other people. I'm like, well, how do they have so much energy? They like terrible, and they're like,
Yeah.
they're going and going and going and going, and so it's not like it's a miracle diet or anything, but it definitely. I definitely have felt very good over the years, especially on the raw food diet. I felt really good, but that was really hard to sustain over the years. And
So if you were going to give like 2 or 3 tips to the viewers, someone that's been thinking about doing it or just maybe doesn't want to go all the way diving into the deep end of the pool, are there a couple tips for someone to kind of dabble in it or get started?
in
Or
becoming a vegan.
yeah, or just moving in that vegetable and fruit direction and trying to cut back on the plant.
Yeah,
the
I
meat.
mean the simplest thing is just when your portion size, you just make more salads and greens and fruits and start reducing the size of meat or the times of, or look for alternatives. There's tons of alternatives for everything from chips to dips to like you can have hummus instead of certain other chips, and there's so many different alternatives to like burgers and fish. Like I just ate at Meta Burger in town here. It's a vegan burger.
That's a
made-
shout out. If you guys watch
Yeah.
this, you have to get exclusive rights from
That's
the
right.
19th hole to use that. All right.
Yeah, but
We
there's so
didn't
many.
pay him, but you're gonna have to pay us.
Yeah, so there's so many different alternatives. So I would explore those, but definitely just eat a variety of food. When I was doing the raw food diet, I realized that there's so many fruits and vegetables, and I read that you could have a different fruit or vegetable every day and you wouldn't have enough days in 100 years of your
Oh
life.
wow.
So,
Well, I
there's
actually
that-
believe that. There's a
Interesting.
lot. Yeah.
So it's not a lack diet. It's more of an abundant diet.
Right.
And until you get deeper into it, you don't really realize
Yeah,
that. You
'cause
think,
I
you
mean-
can't eat anything, but no,
Yeah,
you can
So
eat everything.
do you have like your go-to meal that's just like when you're like, oh man, this is what I want that you eat? I mean, is there one particular thing that stands out that's like, you know?
Yeah, well, Eagle makes a really good curry, and I like when he makes curry.
Okay, I like
Alright.
curry
The
myself.
coconut curry, green
Oh.
curry.
See.
But I'm usually like I'm old school, like from the East Coast, so I like a sub sandwich or
Right.
I like a veggie burger or something, something with bread and toast.
All
and
right. All right.
That makes sense.
chips
Pat,
and hummus.
we have a ton of questions coming in for our viewers. So I know that you and Eagle started playing at Johnny Roberts, playing doubles. You guys would go grab a cup of coffee and play some more disc golf all day long. But what is your favorite course in Colorado?
My favorite course in Colorado.
Your favorite course. It could be past or present if it's been pulled.
Right
you
now?
know, yeah. No, I mean of all time.
I'd say right now is Valmont because it's the closest one.
Closest.
Yeah.
all right.
We
all
spend
right.
so much time. Even when he comes home, it's like it's mostly our favorite because it's right there. We like the guys there. It's and it's all birdies, but it's great practice because every shot
You
you're
have
putting
to, you
for a
have
birdie.
to putt and you have to upshot.
So
That's
every
right.
shot's pressure because you're throwing a shot
Yep, I
and then you
see
want
that.
the birdie. So you're birdie. So every time he comes home and practices just that course, I think he has a lot more success because it's technically an upshot.
You have
and
to
a
birdie.
putt.
For him, it's birdie or die.
Yeah, so he has to.
Right.
So you're practicing putting all the time.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's a great.
I'm going to take this
Great
other
tip right
one,
there.
and it's because we know you love the Grateful Dead, and we know Eagle loves the Grateful Dead. One of our viewers wants to know, what is your favorite Grateful Dead song, and how many shows have you been to?
Man.
Oh,
Whew.
Come on,
This
man.
is Grateful Dead here, everybody. We gotta
I've been to
remember
19
that.
shows. I haven't
19
been.
shows.
I
All
was
right.
talking to another disc golfer, and he went to like.
Somebody write that down because we're going to have a question a few episodes from now, and this is going to be the question.
And I saw
Pat-
Jerry Garcia band one time, and
Yeah.
Bob Weir
Oh,
many
my
times.
goodness.
But I've met other disc golfers that said, oh, well, I've told them, we're Grateful Dead heads, and they've gone to like 300 shows, and I said oh, I got to go to, what's his name, Burley? Is it Burley? If you're watching, Steve Burley. Yeah, but I talked to him at Las Vegas, and he went to like, and I was bragging about my going to a Jerry Garcia band show, and he went to like 250.
Oh wow!
But
all right, and that's obviously where Eagles' love for the Grateful Dead comes from. I mean, as parents, we can definitely influence our kids.
It probably all started on that Hawaii trip. I remember coming, and this will lead into my favorite Grateful Dead song. We just got done hiking out of a canyon, the Haleakala, which is the volcano up there, and we did a 10-mile hike into a cabin, and we hiked out, and it was just pouring rain, and he was just completely soaking wet, and then we were coming off the mountain, and I knew it was time for my favorite Grateful Dead song. So
and it is?
On it went, and it was Eyes of the World. We're coming over top of Maui with the beautiful soaking wet
awesome.
in our underwear because we were just completely drenched, and jumped out of the car and just started dancing. And was like, yeah, this is so awesome.
Dude, that right there is an amazing memory, and I'm so glad that was shared right here. That's awesome. I'm a huge Grateful Dead fan too. Shakedown Street. I mean, obviously, who doesn't like that song? Boombox. Have you ever heard of them, Pat? Boombox is
only from you.
Oh,
I've heard it was your favorite band for many times.
It is. And Zion is he's got Grateful Dead roots. I think I told you that. He's the son of a couple of the members, and they do a rendition of Shakedown Street and a rendition of I can't even think of his name right now, but Who Killed Davy Moore? I'm trying to think of who it was.
Who Killed Davy Moore?
Who Killed Davy Moore?
Anyway, don't look at me.
Great.
That's not a Grateful Dead song.
All I know is my highlight of the Grateful Dead was when I was about 19. My older brother Steve and I did 7 days at the Meadowlands in a row. We sold Dead Rock T-shirts, like hard rock, but they were Dead Rock,
nice.
And the location was Utopia. And we ate peanut butter and jellies, and back in the day, you could actually stay in the parking lot. I think it was the last year they would let people stay there overnight, and then the next year you had to leave every night.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
And
started getting crazy.
that was probably I learned more that week than 4 years of college.
I was gonna say this was more of a survival trip, was it not?
But the shows were spectacular and amazing.
It all started with a girlfriend's, Linda Beecher's, my ex-girlfriend's mom, and we're still great friends. And I'm gonna have her watch this. So hey, Linda, I took one of her tapes, or let me borrow it, and it was from Philadelphia Spectrum, and it had. And you could hardly hear, and I can remember listening to it and hearing like Samson and Delilah into Shakedown. I think it was Samson and Delilah into Shakedown, but in the middle it would like pause, and I'd be like just waiting, and then it would come back in, and I just listened to those tapes over and over, and then the CDs came. And
those quality back there were so bad too.
Oh, yeah,
because somebody like recorded it at a show.
But it felt like you were right there.
But there was the button on the thing that had the emblem that was supposed to be Dolby surround.
Well, we didn't realize it back then.
Then it would get eaten up, and
use a pencil to fix it.
Yeah, and then you pull it out, and there goes your favorite Grateful Dead.
Wait, we just went over the head to half of our viewers right now. Okay, cassette tapes are these things. They had never mind.
We'll just keep moving.
We will move on. All right, the first concert that you took Eagle to.
First concert. He'd have to probably answer that.
First, how about one?
Maybe,
one of the best memories then.
Probably. You know what? It was Fish. It was Fish show.
Nice.
Festival 8.
Here in Colorado?
No, it was Fish. Fish broke up for a couple of years. I forget what years they were, and I think they came back in like 2009, and they did a festival in California at where they have the big down in Desert Springs. What's the
Slab City?
No, it's not Slab City.
I don't
but
know.
wherever what's the name of that big festival they always have there? But Fish played there.
Not Burning Man.
No,
No.
somebody in the comments on
Bonnaroo.
No,
Was it out like that?
Coachella.
There you go.
So it was at where Coachella was,
Oh.
and we pulled in there, and I met some old friends that I used to go to some shows with, dead shows with, and I hadn't seen Fish in so many years, since like early '90s. I started listening to Fish, and we camped there, and there was 8 sets, and it was a Halloween set, so we got dressed up as I was a jack-o'-lantern, and I forget what he was Boo. He was a ghost, and he was Boo, and he didn't want to get dressed, so we just wrapped him up in toilit paper, and
Oh my god.
and
Then he was a
and
mummy.
he fell asleep.
Yes.
It became a
The sec-
mummy.
And every year, Fish would do like on Halloween would do a cover of an album, and they wouldn't tell anybody what it was. And this one was Exile on Main Street from the Rolling Stones. They played the entire album straight through, and Eagle fell asleep, and I'm like, come on, and then they're going through like Loving Cup with horns, and I'm like, this is like the greatest thing ever. And,
He fell asleep.
but yeah, that was probably
Well-
the first shows, a full-fledged weekend.
Right. That's a
Fish.
pretty good memory.
Yeah.
Let's just run through
Just
these,
keep
Mike.
going, man.
Biggest challenge that you face when you're on tour with Eagle?
Eagle is my biggest
Father son. I mean, there's dynamics that are involved with any
for
father
sure.
son.
No, who's driving, and we know that. We know the answer to
You.
that.
You're
Yeah.
driving, right?
No, Eagle's easy. Most of the time is the biggest challenge.
I mean,
food.
that's- yeah.
Lodging's kind of Eagle does that.
I mean, is
and-
there a preparation? Is there certain things that he likes to go through, or you
Yeah,
do as a team?
definitely over the years we have a complete routine down,
Yeah.
and we can like come to a place and we can figure it out, and he'll find out he'll want to know where I'll find my favorite coffee shop,
Yep.
and so we know we're going there in the morning, and that gives him something to do, because unless he's played terrible and he has to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, which he only had to do like once in many years.
Right.
But so he's usually playing around 12 to 2, and there's a lot of time to kill. And then the mornings come, and we go get coffee, and we sit there, and we're usually on our phones. That's what everybody does anymore. But we talk. We
Do you
might-
guys game plan? I mean, do you
Yeah,
talk
we
about?
I mean, he
the
already has a
round?
game plan, but sometimes we'll just talk about what happened the day before, and just remind, you if you didn't make those mistakes, that's what I'm famous for, is telling them, if you didn't make those mistakes, you could be right here, and it's just there's only
And it seems
small
cliche.
little
It
tweaks,
seems cliche. Some of the conversations you're gonna have. It's like it's the common conversation, but every player needs to hear that.
Yeah,
exact
and
conversation.
and
But-
a lot of the players do that. I'm around the guys a lot, and it's amazing how at that level the guys don't talk as much about their games, but when you get into like lower levels, people will sit and tell you all about their entire round and everything,
shot.
and they'll have shot like they'll tell their whole story, and they'll shoot a +5, and they'll tell the story to the professional disc golfer who's 11 down, and they're just annoyed because they could have shot
Right, 13
13
down.
15
down.
or yeah.
and then they're listening to a guy who missed his triple
Well,
bogey putt.
I feel fortunate then, because by the time I ended my round, I completely forgot all of the holes, and I'm just ready to go to the next round.
Wow, that's good.
I don't think about them. If you concentrate on that too hard, it's
I
just gonna
find
mess up the
there's
next
kind of
one.
like two different categories. There is that group of guys that they remember every shot, every hole, where they landed, what their thought process was, and the other guy who kind of just recaps the whole thing. Maybe he remembered the 4 or 5 either mistakes he made or the highlights of when he said, I'm going to go for this, and it worked. Because I think at the pro level where they're at today, there's more of that than there used to be of, man, if I stick it out on the line right here, I can have some really big results, and we're seeing it. I mean, that's why the tournaments have gotten so exciting, and people are just taking bigger risks, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Eagle included.
Yeah, and you have to have short memory.
Yeah.
And it's hard to let things go in disc.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, it's super
especially when you're the highest rated player. So that's going to
if
bring
it's hard,
me
I
in-
mean, at any
That's
level,
going to bring
too.
me to my next question, Pat. How do you give, and this comes from Ben, actually, one of the producers of the show. How do you continue to give that dad advice, right, to the highest rated player in disc golf? And how do you give him disc golf advice when he's obviously surpassed what our level of playing is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how does that come into play, and what do you do to help him get through these rounds? There's been rounds where he's sad, and he's sad. He's upset at himself. So what do you do to get him through that?
The only thing what I can bring to the table is that I've played a lot of sports, and I've been in sports, and I understand. I'm a big sports fan, so I kind of understand the game, and I understand the ebbs and flows of different sports, and that not everybody has their best game every night, and some arenas they don't do as well in, and I think some of that stuff can be consoling. I don't know if it consoles them or not. It might just piss them off at times because I'll be saying, you just haven't had success here. It's not a big deal. Right. There's luckily you can go play next weekend.
Go back to that.
Hold on. We got to talk about
that picture you just put up. So Pat, this is you said before the show you want to talk about this because it's been miscommunicated, misconstrued. What is this picture right here?
That looks like me just scared to death that he's about to blow it.
Are you thinking about coffee right now?
No, that's probably from having too much coffee. And so this is on hole 16, 17. This is hole 16 at Beaver State Fling. Okay, sad about Beaver State.
And they had just run out of veggie burgers, right?
Yeah. I heard that afterwards, no more veggie burgers.
No, for real. But tell us what the real
for real the whole
emotions were here.
If anybody can remember that, the hole before it, he had a pretty comfortable lead, and he was Seppo was chasing him.
Yeah.
And Seppo had a tough putt on hole 15, and it was a raised basket, and he was about 35 feet, and we were kind of like thinking, Seppo's probably not going to make this. And Eagle had a putt that if he missed it, it could be, he didn't want to lose anything then, so he laid up on that and made Seppo make that, and Seppo made it. So all of a sudden it's like a little bit closer.
Right.
And then Ulibarri was like tied with him, and then on the next hole where we're standing at, Ulibarri took a high number and took like a 5 or a 6, and I just heard that, and I was like, oh my God, now Paul's out of there.
There it is.
And then all he has to do is throw a good shot on this hole where he just has to throw it down the middle and pitch it up, and he just has to par. He literally just has to par out, and he wins the game. Or the match, or I'm telling like his grandma talking, the game or the match, the tournament, and he throws the shot and it looks good and it like clips a tree and it just shoots like into a terrible position where he's gonna have
an iron leaf.
And I just was like, with everything that's happening, I just was like, oh my God, I can't believe like this is supposed to be easy. He's got a big lead. This is not ending up easy. Then he throws the shot like behind the basket, terrible shot. Then it gets to hole 17. And this is, Seppo throws his second shot like in the woods, like deep into the woods, and then Eagle throws a safe shot, and this hole like wraps around.
Right.
And he throws it way out in the open, and so I'm up there talking to him, and we're talking like, congratulations, you got this, right? You just has to pitch this up. So he steps up and he pitches it up, and it's the worst upshot ever. It's like outside the circle, like 40 feet. And I look at him like, what the hell was that? Right? And I'm like, what was that? And so when we're waiting for Seppo to find his disc, and all of a sudden we just see out of the trees this disc come flying out, bam, right into the basket, within one. And it's like, he's within one.
It was like, what is it like, Ben?
No, it was like, but then Eagle missed his putt. No, Eagle missed his putt there, so he had to go to hole 18. And just the weekend before his putt is the weekend that he missed his putt on the last hole that would have won him the tournament. So it was just like this pressure was like, why? Yeah. We're walking to the next hole, and he comes up to me and he's like kind of like freaking out, and he's like, I can't believe this is happening. What is going on? What's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. You have to par this at least to push this.
Yeah, thanks for putting pressure on me, Dad.
Or I didn't say that, but that's what I meant. But he threw a good shot, and he was about 45 out, and then Seppo threw and was like just inside the circle. So I'm standing with him by this line. He's like, what do I do? And I'm like, I'd make him make the putt, right? Because it was a drop off behind if he missed. So he lays it up. Seppo putts and he misses, and he wins the tournament. So those kind of things when you're in that.
Yeah.
people watching are completely excited,
Yeah, but being in the moment and feeling it.
Yeah, and
Obviously,
feeling
like
and being the dad, and
Yeah.
and dads and moms will understand that you're empathetic. You like feel what they feel,
Yeah,
and you know what they're going,
absolutely.
and you know what they're going through. So I'm like when this stuff's happening, it feels like it's happening to me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
and
It
you
is,
don't
I mean,
always-
it is
you
in a
don't-
way. In a way,
You're
it
not
is.
always
You're
caddying
vested.
for Eagle, but you're always
No.
generally, I shouldn't say always, but majority of the time you're on the course, so you're within arm's reach of
Yeah.
Eagle. So you're feeling every emotion when he's dominating, when he's close, making those close victories, and
when he's unhappy on the course too.
Right.
Like last weekend, things were going really good, right? Great. Like we had a talk, and it's like if you just get 5 or 6 birdies to start, they'll start worrying about you on the back,
Yeah.
right? And that was kind of the goal. I mean, that's obviously the goal. And he starts off 4, gets it, and then he's throws an upshot, and he just had the hardest time with this upshot. And to me, I always walk behind his lines, and I'm like, what's so hard about that upshot? There's nothing hard about that upshot. But for some reason, it's hard for him, and he knows and he throws it, and every time on that hole, he just would nick a tree, and then he's outside the circle, and he missed the putt. And it was just another time that hole he was so close that he just couldn't get the birdie on it.
yeah,
And then the next hole, just tear of trouble, and it turned into a 5. And we both knew right then, like, if he's going to make a comeback,
is Eagle
he's
watching the
got-
show tonight?
Probably. Yeah, he's watching.
All right, so what's
All
your
right.
number
So
one?
let me just finish. And
Yeah.
then, so because of that, I understand the frustration. I'm frustrated.
100%.
I know I'm not. I'm not going to do any good here. And I sat with him after that hole, and I knew not to say anything. And then I just said something, and I realized I shouldn't say anything. And I'm just like, because I left the first day, I said, I told him, I said, I'm out of here. I'm going hiking. I'm just going to let you do your thing. And he went on, and he finished good, and he ended up finishing good. But things like that where you can vibe and feel like,
Yeah,
I can't
Well,
I
you
can't
know when he
say
wants-
anything or
yeah.
do anything.
Yeah. But you guys are a great team on tour. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You guys are working great together. You guys travel great together. When is Eagle coming home to visit for a while? Do you have any idea? Like, when are you guys
That's
gonna...
top secret stuff. Right there. He'll be home. No, he'll be home. He'll be home at
After
before DDO.
Before DDO. Okay.
And
Well, we hope,
anybody
you
who's
know,
playing at Flatirons will be playing at Flatirons.
Nice. Well, we hope to maybe see him at DDO because you know we're going, so we want to get down there and see
Yeah.
Eagle and
Mm-hmm.
talk with him. But let's wrap. You want to speed round it?
Well, yeah, I think we hit most of our points. Let's just do a couple other quick things real fast. What are you doing right now to keep yourself occupied on a daily basis? What's your 9 to 5?
My 9 to 5 is I'm self-employed stonemason, and I was trained by a real pro who's very good at it, and he kind of set me up to do my own stuff. And all the years of disc golf and all the years of doing it, it's harder to do like full time. So I do it more like on a part-time basis, and I pick and choose what I want, and I have freedom to be able to leave and go on trips when I want to.
so
And
awesome.
last year I worked up in the mountains all summer, 6 months stoning an entire house.
Wow.
And I'm doing some waterfalls now and it's for some friends, so it's totally
At your
laid back
leisure,
at my
yeah.
leisure
so
now. And
awesome.
and at some point I'd like to do something with Eagle and maybe disc golf and get involved more in that and just kind of finish out
I'm
in this sport that I
picturing a
love.
disc golf rock collaboration on a hole somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what came to my head when
That's a great idea.
I was like, oh man. Anyway, all right. So, Pat, I gave you a little warm up to this. We usually finish our interview with a little bit of a speed round. We're going to ask you maybe 10, 15 questions. And are we ready to rock and roll?
Let's get it started. You want me to roll?
Yeah, you want you go ahead and hit them up with the first question. We're going to go back and forth.
Favorite coffee?
Favorite coffee, iced Americano with extra ice.
Okay. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Don't really have. I like Once. the movie once.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Favorite disc golf talk show?
Favorite disc golf talk show? The 19th hole.
Good work.
There we go. There
Last.
I also like no.
Go ahead. Go
No,
for it.
I do like the Flight Diaries, and I listened to it on the way down with Greg Barsby.
Hell
on
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah,
Eagles been on
Barsby.
We got an interview coming up
He'll
with
be
Greg
on
in
the
a couple
show.
of weeks.
Shout
Oh,
out
yeah.
to Barsby.
Cool.
What's the last live concert you went to?
Ooh, good question.
I think it was Spiritualized.
Which was that in 2019 or 2020?
That was probably 2019.
I know it's crazy. It's been
It might have
that
been
long
20.
to get
It
in.
might have been. That's the one that I remember that I went to. I might have went to another one after that, but I think it was Spiritual. I check them out. They're amazing though.
If you didn't live in Colorado, what state would you live in?
I would live in either Bend, Oregon, or Austin, Texas.
Nice. Those are good picks.
Pat, any nicknames?
My friends, when I was younger, had one for me, but I'm not going to tell you.
Come on. What is it? Now you have to tell us.
No.
No, it's
Maybe
not.
we'll get that information for a later episode.
If they're watching, they can put it in the comments.
There you go. Proudest moment as a father in watching Eagle through the entire thing. What's the proudest moment?
Proudest moment? When I would say just this encompasses it all. Things not going his way at say Waco, Texas, just playing like it's completely not not feeling it, not into it, not feeling great, and just sticking it out and then finishing strong. Whenever he I don't mind the failures, but to watch him the way he responds.
Did we get that? Can you see that whiteboard? We won't say it.
You could say it.
We
It's
can?
Teddy.
It's
It's
Teddy.
Teddy, but
Teddy.
it's cute when I was chubby little guy. But it wasn't cute because the guy who called me it, and if he ever watches this, I probably would be okay friends with him now, but you were an absolute jerk in high school. Completely. And there used to be a bully that used to call me Teddy, like, you're a little Teddy.
That's
And he used
so
to,
great. Thank
he used
you,
to punch
Eagle,
me
for
in the
that
arm.
kicker.
And,
Yeah.
but if he's
All right.
watching it, I might send it to him to realize that you should feel bad about that and say you're sorry to me.
The last four coming in hot.
Pat, one more each. Pat, where were you born?
I was born in Belmar, New Jersey.
And when did you
I
come to
lived in Belmar, New
Colorado?
Jersey. Born in Neptune, New Jersey. In early 90s.
Okay.
You're native then.
Okay.
All right, we're going to close it out with Mike's favorite part. We're going to do putter, mid-range, fairway, distant. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
What's your favorite putter?
KC Pro AVR, now P2.
Mid-range.
Mid-range, Rock, Eagles MD3. I have to say 2. So.
Yeah, that's
Favorite
okay.
fairway?
Favorite fairway driver is the Firebird.
Bam. And distance driver.
Distance driver, probably. It used to be a Destroyer, but now it's a first run Blizzard Boss.
Ooh,
top.
bubbles on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
Bam.
and domey.
All right, guys. This is Pat McMahon, number 43287. It's been an exclusive interview. Dude, so happy you made time to come down here tonight, Pat. We're
Yeah.
very excited
thanks
to
for
see
having
what's
me.
going on. And, we'll see you at DDO, right?
Probably not.
You're not going to come up DDO?
I'm
All
going
right.
to go to Worlds.
All right. Well, fair
Well,
enough.
maybe we'll see you at Worlds.
Maybe, yeah, see you at Worlds.
All right. You guys, Pat McMahon, give us some comments. Share this video. Like it. Well, you can't like because it's YouTube. I know they already told me that. But
Yes,
give
you
us
can.
a thumb. You can?
Thumbs up.
You can like them. All
Like,
right. See?
Yeah, and so what do you got here, Eddie?
All right. So, Pat picked this out of your store.
I
like
love it.
Right? He's going to sign this for us, guys, in, I don't know, a couple weeks. I'll tell you what. We'll have Pat sign this. Eagle's going to be at DDO, right?
Of course.
I
All
know
right.
what you're
All right.
getting at.
Maybe we'll have Eagle get this. If we can find Eagle while we're up there, see if he'll sign it. Then we'll bring this back to the show, and we'll give this away to one lucky viewer on the show. Is that cool with you, Pat?
That sounds good.
All right.
Eagle, I don't know, man. He's hard to get to.
I'll get to him.
Nominal fees. No, just kidding.
All right.
Gotta
all
get
right.
past security.
I'll make sure he signs it for you.
No worries, no worries. Again, Pat McMahon on the show. Mike, this has been a great show, man. Next week we've got a special show as well. Pat, can you read these two names right here? Who's on the show next week?
Kyle Mate.
And
Kyle. Dave Felberg.
Dave Feldberg.
Bam!
You
That's
read
what
that
I'm
right.
talking about.
I talked to Feldberg on the phone today. Like I said, this is a really big announcement.
Dave got a tough act to follow. Kyle and Pat, local legends.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Oh man, it's
That's why
gonna
I
be an
love you,
awesome
man.
show. It was an awesome show. Thank you, Pat, so
Yeah.
much. We're
Thank
so
you,
excited
Fly
to
Green.
have you.
Fly Green Disc Golf, Ben Fairley, Dwight Vinatucci, Kim Colvin, Eifling Plastic, Alex V made that awesome music for us. Fat Trailers. Fat Trailers. If you don't have a place for DDO, please get with Pete at fattrailers.com.
Hey, and if you want to sponsor an ad on the 19th hole,
Yep.
reach out to us. You can hit me up at flygreendiscgolfco@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on our 19th hole
at
Gmail.
gmail.com. The
Bam.
19th hole with Eddie and Mike at gmail.com. We have some slots open right now. Fairly good pricing.
Oh, I
See
see
what I
what you
did
did there.
All right. Guys, love you. Much love. Shout out to everybody. Pat McMahon, big round of applause.
Woo! We'll see you
Thanks,
guys
brother.
next week.
You operate on a very high frequency. You operate on a very high frequency. You're moving so fast you appear to be still. But I'm going to tell you